the 110th mayor of the city of New York, who also happens to be one of us, an African. Ladies and gentlemen, the stars couldn't line up any better than this. The constellations couldn't line up any better. It's all African, from you leaving your house, where you're sitting right now, who's gonna talk to you. It's all the continent, and it's a very proud moment for us. In line with the African Council's mission of advocating for the needs of African diaspora, today's town hall meeting is not only intended to elevate the deep needs of the African community for the mayor's administration action, but also to acknowledge the mayor's good works for the city of New York and the African community. He's gone through a lot. You know, we know about COVID. You know, we lived through a lot of economic changes, but this man has stood with the community ever since then. The African Council worked with his campaign to galvanize and mobilize so that we can support him, because we believed that this man is the man that will listen to, that he has the qualities to bring, you know, like they say in Africa, qualitative leadership to New York City. And that's why we rallied behind him. We did a lot of, we worked with him while he was borough president and all the way till now. We in the African community, we recognize that most of the challenges faced by the community are institutional. While we're not going to stand right here and go through all of those institutional issues, but it'll take a partnership with institutional people to get results for this community. And that's why we have our friend here, and that's why we have an ally here sitting to my left, and that's why we brought him back. He's done a lot already, we know that, but hey, we're gonna ask for more because our needs are this big. It might interest you to know that, you know, he's worked with us to see that there's visibility of the community, and that not just visibility, but that you're heard. We've done so many flag raisings with the mayor right here. This man has raised more flags as a mayor than all of the mayors before him combined. And by the way, we have another one coming up in about 2 weeks, the African Union flag raising. And we also, you'll get information about that. He's directed his commissioners to work with us. We do, when we knock on the doors, they're always open, they work. Things take time to change, but like I said, it's all institutional. So the man is an ally. He's amongst family and friends. We're here to interact positively for the benefit of the community. Let us sit back, get some questions ready. No stories. And we will take as many as possible. We already got some put down. We've got some questions already. The ones you guys asked before he came here, the ones that you sent in to the African Council for us that we distributed, you know, that we looked at. What we're going to do, I don't want to take a lot more time than this, so that we can allow him to spend more time on this podium. So what we're going to do is we're going to go between the ones you mailed into the African Council and possibly take a couple that are live. If you do not follow the instruction, I want to tell a story, we're going to cut your mic. So let me conclude by calling on Assistant Commissioner for Mood, Connie, and who is with the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit for Mood. I need you to wave wherever you are. There you go. Look at him over there. I also need you to, Dr. Bola, raise your hand from wherever you are, Dr. Bola. There you go. These are the newest additions to the administration. Ahmed Kagbo, there you go. CCHR. These are the newest additions to the administration. These are the mayor's latest additions. Thank you, Mayor Adams, for your partnership in these. Like I said, you're gonna hear more tonight. At this point, I'm going to introduce to you Assistant Deputy Commissioner Aissata Kamara, who is the Deputy Commissioner for Policy and Strategic Initiatives. She also doubles up as the Chief of Staff of the Mayor's Office of International Affairs. Through the Mayor's empowerment, this young woman here has been a real support. A round of applause. She has been a a real solid bridge between the community, the African Council, and to the departments. The man is busy. When we look for him sometimes and he'll say, talk to this person or talk to that person, if we have any issues, I say, Kamara, walk to them and then we'll figure out what's going on. She'll be up here with me so that we can make sure this is a successful event. Stand up, please, and come over here. Thank you, Dalit. Good evening, everyone, once more. Good evening. Good evening. The mayor is here. Good evening. The mayor is here. Thank you very much. I know we have a whole lot more things and questions. We may not be able to capture all of it right now, but since he's here, we're going to regroup. The commissioners are here. They've heard some of the concerns that you've already presented. What we need to do is make certain that they come back out here on their own time, our time, to get some of the issues that we have that we need addressed. So please take your seats so that we can get into the second phase of this program. Without any further ado, I am going to, this place that we are is being led by one of us. You guys hear me? So without wasting any more time, I will call on Dr. Philip Azwa to come and welcome you all. Dr. Philip.
Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you for coming to Montefiore. It gives me a really great honor to welcome you, especially my African sisters and brothers. Welcome to Montefiore. And I know that there's a lot that we want to discuss this evening, but one of those items is input and voice and representation. And so I thought I will share with you something that I've never shared before in public. This is the first time. In 2021, there were, I believe, about 13 candidates running for mayor on the Democratic side. I did not know any of them. One candidate reached out and wanted to have a meeting. And we met for lunch at Bucket Details in Washington Heights. And he did not ask for support. He did not ask for a contribution. We sat down and he said, brother, tell me, what do you think I need to know about this city? And for 1 hour, he took out his phone and took notes. And he said, okay, we'll be in touch. At the end of November of that year, I'm walking into Barclays Center and my phone rings and it's that candidate, now mayor-elect. He said, and he said, I'm going tomorrow to West Africa. I'm going to Ghana. Tell me, what do you think that I need to know? So when you talk about input, I can tell you that we have one person who leads this city, who seeks input, who values input, who welcomes input, and that person is the great mayor of the city of New York, our brother, Mayor Eric Adams. Welcome.
First, Dr. Oz, I told you already how proud we are of you. It's incredible that you get to manage all of this, and your hospitality is so appreciated. Keep doing that, and we'll be here all the time. Len.
Not as patient.
All right, Len, my brother, and to the whole African Council, thank you. Thank you for your text messages in the middle of the night. Thank you for your text messages in the morning. Thank you for caring about our community, okay? My name is Aisata Kamara, and I am the Deputy Commissioner and Chief of Staff in the New York City Mayor's Office. But I also help to work with the African community on behalf of the mayor. And since Dr. Oz shared his story about the mayor, I want to share my story. So many of you don't know that I came here with $100 in my pocket, that I was an activist, and I fought many, many years for the rights of African women and the rights of women. And I then started working for the city. And when Mayor Adams came in and we started talking about the community, he listened. And he brought me under his protection and told me to help our community. See, because of my role, I get to work with many leaders. I've met almost every world leader that you could imagine. And leadership is not only when people are there. Leadership is when nobody is there. Yes. When the cameras are not there. And when the cameras are not there, when no one is listening, the mayor is listening to us. So you have to know that he cares about us. He is our brother. He is our family. And we have to stand behind him and stand with him the same way he is standing by our side. Don't let it be lost on you that his person that is working on the African community is also in African women. African women, our voices are not always heard. But you, through me, your voices will be heard. So I want us all to have a very good conversation with the mayor, and to my brothers and sisters that are here, from Maud, Ahmed, everybody that is in the room, all of the New York City Mayor's Office team and New York City teams, thank you for all of the work that you did to make this a success. Robbie, wherever you are doing advance, thank you. And let's welcome our mayor and let's have a great discussion. Thank you.
Saka, and I want to thank my entire team that's here on a Saturday night. And earlier this week, we had another town hall, and just the tireless effort that they put in to do their job and the level of commitment that they have. I want to thank Dr. Oz, who has really uplifted not only the role as a professional, but what really has shown how healthcare can have the dignity that one deserves here in the Bronx. And his level of sincerity to his craft and his profession is commendable. 2 years ago, January 1st, 2022, we inherited a city with many challenges. The COVID was everywhere. Crime was surging, 40% increase in the month of January. Homicide, shootings, lack of jobs were in the city. The independent bond raters did not want to give us the level of bond rating that we deserve. We were fighting for affordable housing. We were fighting for those who lived in homeless shelters. We were fighting to get tourists back, which is the main economic engine in our city. No one wanted to be on the subway system. Ridership was dismal and low. Our children were not learning at the capacity that they should. We were dealing with black unemployment. The numbers were horrific. 2 years later, we have more jobs in the city of New York than the history of the city. We have built more affordable housing in 1 year than the history of the city. We have transitioned more people who lived in homeless shelters to permanent housing in the history of the city in 1 year. We have put more people in 1 year using FEPS vouchers into the housing program in the history of the city. 62 million tourists returned, fourth largest in the history of the city. We are outpacing the state in reading and writing due to reading and math due to Chancellor Banks. We changed the whole reading curriculum, and now the state is picking up as well. The independent financial observers looked at how we managed the city, and they raised our bond rating based on how successfully we navigated the crises that we are facing. We went after foster care children. We knew they were aging out at 18 years old. We knew that they were more likely to be homeless, more likely to deal with mental health issues, more likely to be the victims of crime or participate in crime. We are now paying their college tuition and giving them a stipend and letting them age out at 21 with life coaches so they can go on to a level of prosperity. And we're seeing them increase in attending college right now because of that. Double-digit decrease in homicide, double-digit decrease in shooting, decrease in 5 of the 7 major crime categories in the city, removed 13,000 illegal guns off our streets, and no one knows it better than here in the Bronx, where you're dealing with some of the individuals who are carrying guns over and over again. Thousands of people who are dealing with severe mental health illness, we were able to give them the care that they deserve through the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene and DSS and our other agencies. What we have done in 2 years, we inherited a city that was in trouble. We had to stabilize the city and then dig into each community, because the goal is to make sure the city on the whole is doing well. Then we must go into individual cities and deal with the individuality that each individual communities and deal with the individuality that each community is dealing with. Someone stopped me and said, you know, we still have potholes, we still have crime, we still have this, we still have that. That was 2 days after I was in office. Listen, I'm mayor, not Moses. I'm not pardon water, and I'm not gonna walk on water. I have a city to run with 8.3 million people, but 35 million opinions. And when you say Africa, you better not just say Nigeria. You better not just say Ghana. You better not just say Senegal or South Africa. Africa is a diverse place. And you go do an analysis of history and ask how many mayors from this city went to Africa. I've been there 7 times. 7 times. And not only did I go before running, as Dr. Oz stated, I went after winning so I can go to speak to the ancestors and say, I'm taking on a journey that's difficult, so I need for you to do those special things that you and I know about. Not everybody knows about it, but you know what we do. And then, when I got there, I was greeted. And they took my mother's name, who transitioned while I was on the campaign trail, and they put it up in one of the prestigious homes, put her name on the wall. And what many people didn't realize, as Dr. Oz was saying, that the number of people who were running, I returned to give thanks. But when I ran, I went to Goree Island and stood outside the synagogue and looked at the door of no return, and I made a commitment. We left there in slavery, I'll be back with the morale to bear all to. That's what this is about. And so every group in this city is going to benefit from this mayoralty. But as I ensure every group benefits, I don't want it to be lost on anyone, and I don't say it just in the room here. I say it everywhere I go. I am American, but I'm African. I'm African. And I'm focused on what the African people, the African diaspora has gone through. And the largest concentration of Africans is in New York City. This is the most important city on the globe. Right. Period. And my campaign was based on the diversity of that. It was based on making sure the Filipino community could be proud when they see Deputy Mayor Josie, and the Korean community could be proud when they see Commissioner Kim, and all the other groups who are representing prestigious powers, as you just acknowledged, from our Deputy Commissioner to some of the other teams from the African continent has come together. Here's how you benefit in a city like this. Cities are made up of agencies, and the relationship you're supposed to have is that when you pay your tax dollars, you're supposed to get your goods and services through your agencies. And if you have relationships with your agencies, then you are getting now the benefits that you need to ensure that your city is working for you. So the Department of Education Chancellor, your agency must make sure that it is taking care of the education of your children, which is really the cornerstone to every group moving up this ladder. Department of Sanitation Commissioner Tish must make sure your community is clean by making sure the right garbage removal and other things are in place. DOTs, which is in charge of your transportation and traffic, must make sure that your roadways are successful and moving in the right direction. Agency after agency after agency, that is what you get from your city to make sure that your agencies are responsive to you as a community. And historically, it has been responsive to other communities and not all the communities. And I'm saying one city, one response, one level of delivery of services. That's what I'm fighting for. And does it happen overnight? No, it does not. No, it does not. Because you can say a message, but people need to be serious about the message that you're saying. And the only way I can ensure that we are delivering what we're supposed to be doing is to be on the ground. You have to inspect what you expect, or it's all suspect. That's why I'm out here. That's why I'm having this gathering. And it's not new here. We sat down with Sikhs. We sat down with AAPIs. We sat down with people from China. We sat down with people from all over the globe, because this city is made up of diverse groups like yours. And here's the secret. Go coalesce with those other groups. Don't be isolated just in the African community. Your power is in coalescing with all the groups who are newly arrival and are trying to make their foot into this country. Because if you look under the fingernail of every group that has come here, you'll see the dirt and grime of climbing up the mountain one hand at a time. It's no different. If I talk about coming here, taking with $100 in your pocket, and then taking a menial job, and then staying up night, leaving a family member at home, back in your homeland, and having to struggle, having to be demonized, having to be talked about and picked on. You don't even know what ethnic group I'm talking about or what culture group I'm talking about, because they all went with that. New York in America is like the soup guy on Seinfeld. He'll criticize you and attack you all the time until he learns to respect you. And respect in this country is not given, it's earned and it's fought for, and you got to take it. You got to take it. No one woke up, folks, and said, let's make Eric mayor. No one. They said, first of all, you're dyslexic. Second, you make mistakes as a child and you got arrested. Third, you have been rejected. Only God can make you arrested, rejected, and dyslexic, and now you're elected to be the mayor of the city of New York. That's your lesson, folks. That's your lesson. Here, you got drive, determination, commitment, dedication. unification, you can succeed at anything you want. Other groups have done it. But if you say to yourselves, well, he's from Nigeria. He's from Ghana. He's from South Africa. He's from here. He's from there. You do that, you destroyed your strength. If there's one Africa, one African community, you put your numbers together, and each time you make sure you register to vote. Those are new arrivals, you give them the love and care like I see my imams are doing, and going through the system of filing for their TPS and filing to be registered. You start your own businesses of feeding, your own businesses of clothing, your own businesses of security. You start your own businesses, focus on one or particular area, and you start to corner the market in your own community. That's what we're talking about. That's why we have Michael Gardner here, our Chief Diversity Officer, to show you to go after the contracts, the billions of dollars that we're spending. That's why we have Commissioner Kim here from SBS to talk to you about the small businesses that you are starting to use some of the things, his business opportunity funds that he has created. That's why you have all these folks here to tell you the power here. That's why we have Commissioner Castro from the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. And let me tell you about him. He was a dreamer. He came here with his mother. A dreamer came here with his mother and watched his mother start out. As Drake would say, started from the bottom. Now he's here. Now he's here. Not only was he a dreamer, now he's a commissioner of Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, which he's in charge of the life of the dreamers that are coming here now. So we want to open the floor. We want to have a dialogue. I'm going to listen to you when you ask me a question. And I will want you to listen to me when I answer your question. I want us to communicate with each other as you learn this beautiful experience of elevating yourself in the best city on the globe, New York City. Let's open the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. A big round of applause for the mayor, please.
And ensure its continuous engagement with the African,
All right. I think the mayor has it.
Yeah, you
I think
like
the mayor understands it.
You like a doctor, brother.
I think the mayor has it. The mayor, you're asking.
we have the Jewish Commission.
Yeah, yes.
We have the Caribbean Commission.
Council.
What is the mayor's plan on establishing a formal New York City African Council?
Thank you.
Agree 100%. These councils are so important to us and it's so helpful. And we love the idea. Asada, hold on, brother, where you going? Asada was given, this was brought to us. Asada was given the responsibility of putting that together in the mayor's office like others. And we are encouraged to do so, and we will have that done in the next few months or so in City Hall. Thank you.
A round of applause to the mayor of Melbourne. You heard that. Brother Ahmed, I need you to, I need a question from that side.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
How are you?
My name is Olutosi Mustafa. I'm the publisher of this magazine since 2002. I'm always doing educational and cultural programs in New York City since 2002. I've worked with Mayor Bloomberg when he was mayor, and he was very responsive. He supported the publication, which I'm grateful for. But the new commissioners, someone had mentioned that whenever we apply, we are always like stuck. We don't get what we want. I'm talking about fundings. We Africans love to volunteer. We're a community set of people. We love to go and help our community. But when there are funds available and we are not getting it, it's an issue. So I'm happy you are all here, and the mayor himself is here. And I'm letting you know how we feel when the funds are available for us to grow. we should get it. Thank you, and keep up the good work, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is a huge difference between me and Michael Bloomberg.
Thank you.
And it starts with billions of dollars. And whatever he couldn't do using city dollars, he was able to reach into those $16 billion and compensate for it. And we looked at the ethnic media because it was not proportionally being distributed. And so we made sure to look at the non-traditional media. But in addition to that, be creative and focused on looking at many of the other areas to do advertisement. We need advertisement for many of things. We have a traffic safety, Vision Zero. Look to do advertisement for that. All of our agencies, for the most part, do some form of advertisement around health. So we want to make sure you get access, and if you don't know the director of ethnic media, you need to get to know that person. Asada needs to connect you with them so you can sit down. But let's keep in mind in this city, there are so many publications, and there's a limited amount of dollars. Unless you got Bloomberg dollars. The number of publication sisters that come in this city where we don't have a budget to give. And I would be lying if I were to say we had the budget to give every magazine, every publication, every newspaper in this city. That is not even possible. It's not possible. But Asada is going to connect with you to make sure that, Jose, so it's not that we're denying you the dollars. We don't have the dollars to do publication in every publication in the city. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mayor, there's a question on appointments. Mariama, please step to the mic and answer that. One of the ones that were sent in.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening to all of my Adam. My name is Mariana Suarez. I'm from West Africa, the Gambia. So I have a question for you. During the 2021 campaign, the mayor made it clear that your intention is to pursue more effective, efficient, and equal New York City. That your administration will reflect on New York City, ask the African community to present their qualified candidates in line. That your intention with the African community, the diaspora community, and the African community. The African diaspora to commission positions in different ethnicity and different agencies. In total, till date today, there is no appointment commissioner from the African community. What is the plan, the mayor's plan, to fulfill these promises? And we recognize that there are so many African diaspora in civil services and different other capacities. Thank you.
Okay. First, how many different languages we have in this city?
Over 700.
700 different languages. I have yet to have a round table with any of the groups. We have 74 agencies. 700 different languages. I have yet to sit with one group that say we want a commissioner. I have yet to. We have 74 commissioners. 74 commissioners. And when you look at, when you said anybody, I'm sorry? No, we got associate commissioners, we have deputy commissioners, we have a whole lot of folks from the African community with commissioners next to them. You know, the goal is when you are, and I want to really educate our folks to this because this is so important. When you are a commissioner of an agency, a commissioner, you are in charge of that entire agency and everything that falls under that agency. So it's just not just a luxury appointment that you're making. And many people who have those credentials, they don't want to come in government. They don't want to be out here on Saturday sitting here talking, answering questions, being booed, having the press write terrible things about them, and being constantly criticized. So there's a lot of people that have the credential. I asked Dr. Oz to join me and lead one of my agencies. He said, are you out of your mind? He said, are you crazy? You think I want to deal with what they deal with? So sister, yes, you're right. If I have someone that can fit one of those commissionerships, we got commissionerships coming up, but they have to have the credentials to fit it. Start out as an assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner, then move into the commissionership position. We have to make sure that they can hold the weight of those jobs. Because running these agencies is no joke. We got to make sure that many people we approach that have the real credentials, like Dr. Oz, and say, Eric, I love you, but I'm not going into that firestorm.
And Mayor, let me also add to this. We have had a lot of appointments of people that are African. Dr. Bola, I don't know if he's still in this room. He is at the Department of Health and is overseeing the health department there for the Bronx. So he's an African that was appointed under the mayor. Mani Schaefer's office, we have an amazing Ivorian general counsel, the lawyer there, she's also an African. So we are working. And what I told you all is that leadership is not when the cameras are on. And commitment is not only for the camera. The mayor has given me the charge to identify people for us to be able to put them into positions as long as they are qualified. And Len and I, we spend numerous hours on the phone, and I speak to many people in this community about the roles that are available. But let's not only also shoot for the commissioner roles. There are thousands of jobs that are available right now, including with the asylum seeker work. And we need people that speak our language to help our new brothers and sisters. So if you cannot do the commissioner role, apply for the other roles too, because like the mayor likes to say, he wants to see a diverse workforce, but we have to apply, we have to ace our interviews like everybody else, so that we could continue to be represented. But I am saying it, not because he's here, I'm saying it because you, after all of this is done, I'm still gonna have to answer to you. And I am telling you, we are working on it and we're committed to it. Thank you.
And Silas, you know something, you know, listen, we got 13,000 jobs, folks. 13,000 jobs. I need you to come. Government should look like you. That's what we should be focusing on. It's not, yes, listen, it's nice to say, hey, I'm a commissioner, but the commissioner is not the one that's stopping on your block to answer those issues that you're facing. The commissioner is not the one that is dealing with those migrants and asylum seekers that's sitting in that room. Yeah, Molly is running the whole agency, but the persons and the people we need are those who are on the ground delivering the services every day. That's what we need. Not those 74 commissioners. I need those borough commissioners. I need those assistant commissioners. I need the people who are there on the ground. I need my principals to run a school. If we are in a school with predominantly an African diaspora, that principal in that school should be there. I need my precinct commanders. There's an African organization, the police department, for the first time. Never had it before. I need my precinct commanders. If I'm in a Senegalese community, then our precinct commander should be looking like a Senegalese. He should, or the lieutenant, or the platoon commander. That's the work is on the ground. The work is not just running around the city and say, hey, I'm Commissioner so-and-so. No, we need to fill those 14,000 jobs.
And the mayor has revamped the NYC jobs page. It is so much easier now to go and find a job. So please go ahead and look on that website and apply for the jobs. Like he's saying, we need all of you. We need all of our voices.
Thank you, thank you.
And listen, hold on, don't get me wrong. We want an African commissioner. We want to convince Dr. Oz to come work for me.
Mayor, Dr. Oz has acknowledged, he's confirmed to you.
I'm fine.
Yeah, please, questions, please. Let's just ask questions.
The question is about the New York ID. We've been told that it's a very important document for immigrants to be able to have access to a whole lot of things. But the problem is that it's quite inaccessible. I've been trying for the past 4 months to get appointment for the New York ID, and I've not been able to do that. Each time you're told to call 311, and at the end of the day, you're told that there's no space. So how can your office make it possible, easy for one to get the New York ID so that I can, I'm
The Commissioner Castro.
I need to move freely.
Yes, thank you. And you look lovely tonight.
Thank you for the question. IDNYC is managed by the Department of Social Services, but I'll answer the question because it has been a very important question for many of us here. As you know, over the last 18 months, we welcomed about 200,000 asylum seekers to the city. So the demand for IDNYC has skyrocketed. But in partnership with DSS, in partnership with OASO and others on this table, we've increased and have doubled the amount of IDs that we have issued to immigrant communities in the city. And it's because of the leadership of so many people in this room, and I want to acknowledge Deputy Commissioner Munoz, who's here, who with her team has been going out to the community and has been registering people to IDNYC. Just last month, and Assistant Commissioner Salgado is here. How many IDNYCs did we register for last month?
We're doing 556 per week. We have 15 IDNYC sites in Harlem, in the Bronx, Jacobi Hospital, Lincoln Hospital, and we will get you an appointment for this upcoming week. Please see Davina.
We have a heavy influx, but that ID is very important. New York City is unique, and so don't get daunted. You're going to get yours because you came out to this meeting, but everyone, this is an important ID to get, and so thank you for raising that question.
Yeah, and if I may add, we have a table outside for IDNYC where you could get information and actually register so that later you could be able to get your IDNYC. It's right outside the store, so please make sure you go in.
Assistant Commissioner, please tell them not to leave. That table, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor.
Yes, brother. How are you?
It's a pleasure to see you today.
Thank you.
You're really good. Thank you. So before, let me just go through the question, and I'll ask the second question later on. So, Honorable Eric Adam accurately and promptly recognized that our economic was already on uneven ground with passive inequality and vast wealth disparity. As a result, Latino and Black households average approximately 50% of white households. However, this is also the reality of African households, subset of Black households in New York City. To address this, the African community asks that the mayor appoint an African diaspora deputy commissioner in the Department of Small Business Service to enhance provision of timely information related to the NYC contract compliance to help other businesses with the city of New York. How would the mayor facilitate inclusive in the African diaspora community doing business with the city? Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Commissioner, can you go into what we're doing in SVS? And if the only way this community can get business is to have someone from the country in there, we're in big trouble. That's not, we have to operate. We have to operate where we make sure that no matter who you are, that you're going to get the quality service that you deserve. Can we talk about some of the stuff you've done? You've been an amazing commissioner in that unit, in that agency.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the question, and I think you asked the question before the mayor arrived as well, and I shared some of the work we've done in the MWBE space. Last year, we had a 24% increase in the unique Black businesses that got contracts, which was the largest increase relative to any of the other MWBE categories. And it's really, truly an impactful result of what Chief Business Diversity Officer Michael Garner has been doing, along with Director Lisa Flores from the Mayor's Office of Contract Services. We
had 1,250 different businesses show up at our Barclays Center MWB annual fair. And I'll just give you an example. There was a first generation Senegalese immigrant named Ibrahima Baji, who I just met at this Barclays Center. And from that moment, from 2 years ago, he's actually gotten 7 contracts now from city agencies. We also have in our program a Nigerian-born gentleman, Thomas Egwabor, who's the owner of All South Shore Medical Supply, who's gotten multiple contracts, and now he's a mentor for many other MWBEs that are working on here. So you don't have to know me. As I mentioned, my Deputy Commissioner Tanisha Dyer is right here. She heads the MW division, and we are here to work with you. And again, I really want to echo what Mayor Adams says. We are here reaching out to every ethnic community in New York City. Chief Business Diversity Officer Gardner and I and Director Flores, we have engineered this borough by borough MWBE tour, and we're having hundreds of companies there, hundreds of agencies there. I'm sorry, not all hundreds of agencies, but all of our agencies there. So if you can come there, you can either learn how to get certified yourself or actually get the contracting opportunities, and just reach out to me. I gave you my email earlier, and we can help you hold your hand and go through the process.
And so what we should do, brother, is that Commissioner, you and Michael Gardner and Lisa, the African Council should hold a forum just on access
Mayor,
to
just
contracts.
real quick.
Yep.
We've done that last year.
Okay.
And we, through a different agency, Commissioner Kim, we need to repeat that. We need to bring that up here. A lot of times, it's just coming into the community. Some people don't even know how to get to the portal.
Right.
And when I did it with the DOT, when I say when the council put together on Tremont Avenue, Jose, you led the team that came out. They had screens up, point people to what to do. This is what we really need.
Mm-hmm.
Deputy Commissioner, we need to be out here. Before you leave, you and I are gonna speak, and Commissioner Kim, let's make arrangements.
What was it? What did we do it before?
We brought them and they showed people how to, those that
Fill
came,
out the forms,
how to
yeah.
fill out the forms
Well,
and stuff.
right. Where we did it up here. We did it downtown.
The one that we did was on the African Council led was on Tremont Avenue.
Okay, so we need to do because this right. These are mental muscles. A lot of people have never had this access before. It's not a one and done. So we want to continue until people feel comfortable. As the commissioner just mentioned, some of the contracts. The brother got 7 contracts by coming out. A lot of people don't believe we're serious about this because many of us are jaded because you've heard all this madness before. We're real about this. We're real about this. You got some major success stories also where people got real contracts. There are real contracts out there, folks, that we spend billions of dollars that you can have access to. And that's where we are right now. That's our goal.
And Mayor, I think, Michael, you want to add something about your success stories?
We had talked that under Mayor Adams, the city of New York awarded $6.3 billion last year to MWB firms. It's not about certification. It's about firms being certified and effectively being integrated into where the contract awards are. And we're having, the mayor wanted us to have weekly MWBE Comstat meetings. Those meetings take place every Monday at 3 o'clock. In addition to asylum spend, we've spent $1.5 billion with MWB firms, affording them to sell products for us for the housing, the maintenance, laundry services for our asylum seekers. And that number is $1.5 billion. A third of that, more than $500 million, has gone to Black and Hispanic-owned businesses. We're focusing on the disparity within disparity. And under this administration is the Get Stuff Done administration. And we are using government contracting and driving equity in communities of color who have historically been shut out.
Thank you. That's really what my question is.
So I just want to add that part of the strategy that the mayor has approved for the African community is going to be focusing on small businesses and getting us the money as part of these contracts. So I'll be working with Len and everybody else here
We will go to you, not just in the Bronx, but across the boroughs, to make sure that you understand how to fill out these forms and you're able to actually access these funds that are there for you and for our community. So we'll be working on that.
Because small business is your DNA. You know, this is, you know how to open a business, you know how to navigate a business. You get a city contract, you can have that foundation that will allow your business to grow. And that is what we want to do. Many of you probably are small business owners right now. We're making it easy with our City of Yes program to allow you to do the businesses at home that traditionally you were not able to do. Because this is a community of small businesses. This is a community of starting your own business. I don't care if it's selling fabrics, to braiding hair, to food service. You are a community of business. And that's what we find with many of our immigrant communities. They believe in starting businesses. And we want to give you access to government contracts to help you have that constant flow of capital coming in so that your business can grow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for
Thank
attending.
you.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for attending. I also want to thank the administrators of this hospital for facilitating this event by providing your auditorium. And a special thank you to the New York City African Council for the very important role that you have been playing in not only supporting our mayor, but also in rallying around the strength of the numbers of the African community in New York City to support our mayor. Also, a big thank you to you, His Honor, Mayor Eric Adams. I want to thank you for making the entire system inclusive for Africans in the city of New York, and for the first time in history, making Africans feel seen and heard. It's so important. We thank you so much for the work you are doing, and we know that progress takes time, but we're here working together. That's the important thing. So my name is Chidera Obina Ojekwa, and I'm the author of the book series, Dictates of the Heart. And I'm also the executive director of the TV series, Africa on the Rise, running on Spectrum QPTV. I'm also proudly part of the New York City workforce. I work for you as an administrator.
Yeah, let's do the question.
Okay, so my question is,
What are you?
I work for Fair Hearing.
Where?
Fair Hearing.
Okay.
I'm an agent for Fair Hearing.
Okay.
Thank you for all you do. So my question centers around social services and CBOs in our community. So the African community has a lot of CBOs that are either not functioning well or just ill-equipped to get support from the city of New York, leading to a lot of gaps in service provision for those in the African community that really need it. Meanwhile, we know that there are billions of dollars that are being spent by the city to provide support to organizations that help different communities. But for the African community-based non-for-profit organizations, there's a huge chasm and hurdle that they are facing while trying to provide service to the Africans in our community that need help. So granted, we know that historically, Africans have been isolated from accessing this help because Africans...
You got a question?
Yes, okay. So the question is, how can you empower the African CBOs? Because there's a lot of issues, there's a lot of gaps in accessing the services that they need in order to help those that really need. How can you empower them to provide the service properly with no gaps? That's a very powerful question, and the mayor will answer.
And that is one of my pet peeves, that in all of my communities, something that Bahi and I talk about a lot, the service providers in the community should look like the people that need the service. And far too often, the service providers, you get these subcontracts, and someone else is getting the overall contract. We have a mayor's office of nonprofits, and I want to make a real dent in ensuring that the service providers on the ground look like the communities that they're providing services for. Because that's a better return on our investment. If you are providing services to the elderly in your community, you're not doing it just for profit, you're doing it for a purpose. And we want to change that dynamic, to say that the nonprofits should look like the community they're delivering services for. There have been these large nonprofits who are getting a lion's share of these contracts, and then they're giving you the crumbs of the contracts and making it a difficult time for you to get the payment that you need. We need to change that system, and that's what we're moving towards. And our goal is to make sure that we get there, because you're right. The nonprofits on the ground should be getting the support they deserve. Now, the flip side of that, which is another pet peeve of mine, we have too many nonprofits. We got to merge. I should not walk on one block, and I got 8 financial literacy organizations on the same block, or 8 domestic violence on one block. Everybody don't need their own nonprofit. So we have to set our pride aside and say, why don't we all come together and have one nonprofit instead of everyone getting pennies? And we have one nonprofit with one mission, and we can coalesce around. Every community I go into, somebody pulls me over. By the time I walk out of my town halls, at least 30 people tell me, I have a nonprofit for you. I have a nonprofit for you. All of these nonprofits for youth, why did you catch so much hell? We got to coalesce, and we got to be serious about coalescing, having less nonprofit and more success. But it should look like the community who's delivering the services.
Thank you. The Mayor's Office of Non-for-Profit Support is really important, Mayor.
Yes.
And that's what we're speaking to right here. There's things called fiscal agents and stuff. Some of these people they're not set up properly.
Right.
They gotta align with others sometimes. That's what you're speaking. We're interested in that, Mayor.
Yep.
But before, Benga has to. After
partnering with the Mayor's Office of Nonprofits and Mayor's Office of Contrast to host a training for nonprofits, immigrant serving nonprofits, especially those smaller nonprofits, to learn how to register for past support or platforms to act as contracts, and generally speaking, how to contract with the city and work with us. So connect with Len if you are a nonprofit, especially if you are serving some of the recently arrived asylum seekers and migrants, so we can connect and add you to that training. We're working with the Office of Asylum Seekers Operation to make sure that those communities that are serving recently arrived immigrants are also plugged into everything that we do.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Affordable housing is a problem that we have in New York City, especially in the Bronx.
Yes.
And one of the engines that help us to drive this to help, one of the engines that help us to eliminate this problem is 421A program that has been taken off the table, and you replace it with 485.
Hold on, sorry, brother. Sister, you let that baby stay? The baby's crying is good for us. Baby don't have to leave. You know, I'd rather hear the baby crying than some of these folks that stop me on the street crying. Go ahead, brother.
And you replace that with 485X program. I've been getting calls from investors from all over the world. When is Meg going to reinstate the 481X program for tax abatement? And they're bombarding me, investors, they live in New York because of that. And the problem we have is housing problem, and this is the engine that is going to help us to alleviate some of these problems. When is the mayor, or when is the state going to bring the 485X into actuality so that investors will start coming back to New York?
So the mayor understands the code?
He knows.
Okay, all right. So the question is, what is that coming back into place, right? Thank you, Mayor.
And what he rightfully corrected, these rules are state rules, not city rules. I'm a big believer we need to build more. Our housing problem is that we don't have the inventory. We've put all these barriers up to building. Back during the 60s, we put in place zoning rules that were racist and they were segregationists thinking about it. And we want to change that. Dan Garodnick, who's in charge of planning. We have something called a City of Yes, that we believe every community should build more, a small amount in every community. Our city is divided by community boards. We have 59 of them. 9 community boards have built more affordable units than the other 50 combined. And so we need the city council to help us pass this initiative so we can start building more. We got the governor to help us with extending a new version of 421A so that we can now get building on the state level. The governor, the speaker, and the majority leader were very helpful to us. Now we need the city to do the same to assist us. If we do that, we can start building towards 500,000 more units of affordable housing.
When are we expecting that?
That's what's going on right now. It's called City of Yes. You should speak to your local council person and tell them you support building more housing in our city. Okay?
Exactly right. So my name is Dr. Hadiza Osuji, and I'm actually the Executive Director of African International Collaborative Center, and also the publisher, Editor-in-Chief of African Wisdom magazine. And I just want to seize this opportunity, first of all, to say, Mayor, thank you for establishing the Office of Ethnic Media. And for the first time, really, I see a genuine concern to shed the spotlight on, grassroots media, localized, ethnic media. And I also want to seize this opportunity to thank you for coming to our show remotely. I mean, it helps to build our capacity. It keeps us motivated to continue going. Like, we have our magazine, it's free. And just like, we have mentioned, and yes, there are a lot of resources, right, from different departments. This is an opportunity. Our sister had mentioned funding is limited. Another way that can help us, we grassroots ethnic media, is maybe through paid advertisement to bring these resources and spread it, to the community members. Because we are localized, we deal directly with them. We go to weddings, birthdays, and we actually hand out this magazine. So this is a very effective way of bringing these resources to our community members. Jose, I want to thank Commissioner Castro for attending the inaugural event of our magazine. We appreciate that. And DOT, I think wanted to do advertisement.
Dr. Suji.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suji. We've got 5 minutes left in this program. The hospital has to shut down.
Well, thank you. Thank you to your leaders. My name is Bengal Mataya. I'm the chairman of Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee. Now, for my question, I'd like you all to have a little background. So when Mayor Adam was contesting, he was asked, would you support bilateral trade between Africa and New York City? And he said yes, he would. And he actually did, thanks to Deputy Commissioner Isada and Deputy Commissioner Dillon. They've been working with our community to make sure that African products, through export and import, are visible in the New York City area. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the question came within the community around this, but I wanted our people to know that work is ongoing. We're doing a very great job in promoting African culture and our products. But I have with me one of our leaders within the NYC African Council. She's going to ask a question around this, but I needed you to know that there's a background to all of this.
Question. The question is that, Mayor, to help the Africans, as you indicated, is there a possibility of giving us a ground where we could open an African market? This will help New York with tourism, and one of the ways of the African women back in Africa to bring their products on seasonal periods, and they pay taxes, they come in as tourists, and also go back and help their people. So we're just requesting for an open ground which can be used seasonally. Thank you.
I assume you're talking about a duplication of something like that?
Huh?
It sounds like a duplication of that.
Oh, okay, okay. Something like what we have on 116th Street?
It's more of something like the Shepherd Bush in Britain, in London.
Okay.
Where, you know,
Open
seasonally,
market,
yeah.
Like an open. So let me say this. There's something what I was making a suggestion and starting as a first level. There's something called night markets that have been catching on throughout the city. I've seen a lot of other countries. I think the first step to doing what you're saying is finding space in the city that you could do night markets with people. They've been extremely successful. There's one in Willis Point in the Shea area. There's one, I think on 116th Street. They have been getting thousands of people. I think that coming with some of the vendors that's in the community, and we can identify a place where you could do a night market and we can grow from there. They've been very successful.
Thank you.